Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet? Hey, hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and driving Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Prophet to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it poppin'. We chillin' in the trap. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket by any means I rock. This is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet? Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet?
Well, buenos dias. Let's see. Let us see. All right. I think I've got all the buttons pressed. All the colorful, but there's so many colorful buttons. One day I'm gonna wear those glasses, the Facebook Ray-Ban partnershipy stories glasses. They're pretty cool. That's what I've been using to make all these "What is Bitcoin" videos. So yeah, and I'll do it, and then you can see all the colorful Christmas lights and stuff that I see. So there. All right. Unsung, Scorpion, Biotech Breakout, CC Brown, Hootie, Gordon Bennett. What up? Hello to everyone over there on Theta. Hello. And sometimes if you're on trading TV, as of yet, I can't see who, I don't even know what the chat functionality is, that's all rolling out, but we will be more inclusive when we get closer. Right now, I can see who's on Twitch. I can see who's on Twitter. I can see who's on YouTube. And I don't know if anything else. I don't know which other ones. Yeah. So it's Twitter, YouTube, and all that. Yeah. Victor said he's got the Snapchat glasses. Oh man. Vic, buddy, don't be a meme. Don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a meme today. Snapchat glasses. Is that so you can take naked pictures and they erase themselves in 12 seconds? Come on, peeps. Garb Shah, if that's how to pronounce it. Hello. Okay, let me go over to the YouTubes. Joe Fernandez. And if you have a little message and you want me to throw it out there, if you go to the YouTube show or either YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, whatever, and you post from there, then I'll post. You'll see it on the screen. You'll live in infamy until we get canceled, because cancel culture's coming. Ella Paul, you know what's good? Cancel culture can't cancel your money. If you're good at math and you're good at investing and you understand like a couple of these things and you can be smarter than the fat kid a little bit faster at the campfire, then it really doesn't matter if you get canceled. I'm sure the eventual evolution of my life will be some form of public ostracism or cancellation. But you know what? Still got my currency units. Professor, good to see you. Oh yeah, we're tokenizing grandma. Wouldn't that be a fun NFT project? Tokenized the grandma, like a whole series of iterative grandmas. Only there's like, I think there's only like 40 of us that would get it. So we'd have to make a very limited run. Bitcoin Candy, what's up? Good, you got your fetch staked. This is important. People need to get your fetch staked today. Today is the day. Timothy, what up? Biotech Breakout over here as well. Scorpion, Yellow Buck, Scott, Jimmy James, Vincent Rouleau, Nara, Seuss, Crypto for Life, Dubai Money, what's up? My partner, Alex, is in Dubai right now. We've been having meetings back and forth, which has been weird. They've been early. They've been either early or really late, but I guess they've been early or really late for him. Some probably news coming out of that. Some of it I probably can't talk about. Well, I can say this. We might be consulting for a government. That's all I can say. It's not a big government, but it's a government. it has its own country. You can find it on a map. That'll be cool. All right. Mark, Todd, good to see everyone. I get that a lot too. See ya. Jim, what up? Ocean Dawn in the house. Yeah, we did good yesterday, Dawn. It was a good one. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. I think, well, no matter what happens on those options that we sold, we're going to be happy. James, what's going on? Michael. Who else do we got? Scott Hill, Michael Murphy. Other Michael, so many Michaels. Michael's like a solid, salt of the earth kind of a name. Jeffrey, what up? And Neil, JJ, what up, JJ? Welcome back. Michael, other Mike. Dear God, man, we have a Michaeling. It's a Michaeling. Sit down with Fetch. Did you have the sit down? No, I'm not going to have a sit down with Fetch. My sit down is with the people at SingularityDAO, and I've been communicating with them, but Marcelo is in Dubai and the rest of the team, they're all over the place, and it's very tough to get a call going. So we've just been telegramming back and forth and communicating. But I do have some SingularityDAO information that I will get to later today, which is kind of cool, about staking, about some new net, stuff like this. So that's fun. We will get to that. Let's see. Boom, stake, fetch. Cool. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? We're going to do our price review. We'll talk about this is BTC ETF day. It's not physically settled. It is a cash settled based on futures. Okay, and I'm going to read a little bit about that. I found an interesting article from a guy who breaks it down really well. So rather than try to outspeak him or just regurgitate, I'll just read what he said because it sums up a lot of the kind of quasi emotions a lot of people have. Joe Pirate, what's up? Jasnock, good to see you. Good to see everyone. So yeah, so we will be having a discussion with the people at SingularityDAO. SingularityDAO is quickly becoming a pretty important part of the Singularity Net ecosystem, and I'll explain that when we get to it. But for now, we'll talk about Bitcoin. We'll talk about whether you want to be right or whether you want to be rich. Could be either one, right or rich. I choose rich. And that's mentioned a little bit in this article about the difference between the Bitcoin ETF that is cash settled or physically settled. So we'll get there. All right, JR, good to see you. Okay, cool. I think that's it. I think that's the group. That's the team. Let's go. Oh, and then we're going to have for those of you that have checked out the Twitter, I've been putting these videos up, Twitter and Instagram, and on both it's Nicholas Black 60. For those of you that have no real goals in life and you just want to play around on Twitter and Instagram like me, then I've been doing these videos. It's a 30-second video. Like, what is Bitcoin? Well, 30 seconds is the max. And it's just these random kind of off the cuff, what is Bitcoin, from a variety of people. About half the people own it. Half the people don't even know what it is. So it's kind of fun. Well, that being said, I'm going to open it up to you guys to give me some videos, and we're going to have the What is Bitcoin World Championships. Now, what is this going to consist of? Well, I was only just kind of making it up on the way from the elevator to my door. So because of that, I haven't really thought it out, but the idea is, Ray, what's up, man? The idea is this. The idea is you would submit a 30-second or less video. It can be with your phone, simple. You can go as crazy as you want with it, whatever you want to do. And what I will do, we as a group, because we are a team, we will cull these, and every day I'll show you a few, and we will work our way down. We'll either I'll put them on my Twitter page. I'll put them on my Instagram page. You got to get them to me, obviously. What's the best way to do that? We'll figure out a way. I think a 30-second video, you could just email it. Probably that's small enough to email, I'm thinking. But anyway, we'll figure it out. 30 seconds. And then we will vote on them, and we will work it to a few. And then whatever is the best, say the top three, what is Bitcoin 30-second videos, I'll get you guys something cool, like some of the shirts, the Bitcoin shirts, the FU, I have Bitcoin, whatever. But also we will make NFTs. We'll go through the process. We'll probably do it on Cardano because that's the only place where they're cheap enough. We will do NFTs, or we'll do it on OpenSea, whatever, and we will put it out there. And you will live in, you will perpetually be infamous, not infamous because you didn't commit a crime, as far as I know. You won't be famous because I can't imagine anything we do resulting in any level of fame. But you will be unfamous, and that's halfway to famous. It's really a bit more because UN is not. If you look at all the letters, it's like 17%. Anyway, William, good to see you. Hoop and Tony, good to see you. Sebastian, good to see you. We will be right back after these non-commercial breaks. I like this. It's better than have fun being poor, right? No, that's actually pretty good. Have fun being ruled by robots. But we got to say it in a way where people are like, Aztec 2828, good to see you. And yeah, okay, coffee sponsor. I have a coffee sponsor. The Coffee Roaster Los Angeles at Ventura Canyon and Ventura Boulevard in fine Sherman Oaks. That stuff's like rocket fuel. It's like meth and some other stuff. All right. I've got to rule down. I keep getting these little things. Some of the music I play must be copyright protected, even though it's probably my buddy's music from his band. It's probably copyright protected. Anyway, maybe I can't play that, even though he told me, here's the music. Like, how did I get it? He gave it to me. Like Hippia, by the way. Well, we'll get there. Anyway, what's Bitcoin doing? Let's talk prices. Let's go and take a look at the whole market. Let me get this banner off of here because we get it. So what is going on? What's a good little, oh yeah. For the Bitcoin for today, for the prices that we're at, 62,588.
LeBron James.
Yes.
LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. Well done, Bitcoin. So a lot of this enthusiasm over the coming ETF that is here. It is today is the BitShares. Sorry, it is the Pro Shares, and it's called like Bitco or something. It's a very silly name, but it doesn't really matter. This isn't the ETF that we want. This is the ETF that we've got. And is it going to absorb a lot of capital? In my opinion, it's going to be used by people that are in and out of the trade. You don't sit in ETFs. There's too much time degradation in ETFs. So I hope people understand this. Futures-based, cash-settled ETFs, there is too much decay. There's huge fees. It's like 95 basis points. Huge fees against it every single month. It's like it degrades, and it degrades fast. Now, Bitcoin is a very volatile asset. And if you're trading in and out and you're stuck and you got money that's landlocked on some kind of trading facility, it might make sense. But most people don't understand the difference between cash and cash settled and physically settled. And so we talked a little bit about that yesterday on Money Map. So I urge you go. Eric and I went back and forth. Well, we didn't go back and forth. We just talked about it. And it's good. I think you guys would do well to go and listen to that discussion. But this will get into this, Jimmy James, why I'm kind of going in this direction. So do you know why Gensler et al. Prefer futures to spot? Yeah, they're Bito. Yeah, Bito, which is kind of dumb, right? What a dumb name. But anyway, Eli, what's up, man? Okay, so we'll get into this discussion in a little bit, and there's a pretty good breakdown of what the difference is. But long story short, the future, you're going off of the futures price, which is 1 month out, right? And so you have a current price and you have a futures price, and a lot of people mistakenly think, oh, if it's at 63,000 and the futures price is 64,000, I just made 1,000 by. Nope. because there's degradation in the price as you approach that forward month contract. Then that month falls off. The next month contract comes up, which is higher. The price readjusts. You don't get the spread. The only way you get the spread is by selling a futures contract and hold, like, let's say you sell now and buy a futures contract. So you could basically pre-sell or the reverse, depending on which way it's going, right? Like if Bitcoin's at 62.6 and the futures contract is 67,000, you go, oh my God, there's $5,000 spread there. How would you take advantage of that? You would have to do again, you would have to be in both. You could future sell, right? You could buy Bitcoin right now and then sell it, and that's a carry trade. Or you could go the reverse if you want to go the reverse direction, have a synthetic position, synthetic short, synthetic long, things like that. I think that you don't need to be that clever. You just go where the easier money is and the lower tax burden, and that is dollar cost average your way into assets that you like. But is it easier to scam the spot markets than the futures markets? Well, there are several worries, and we'll get into why Gensler is worried, but he is probably not comfortable with a spot settled, because he doesn't want a bunch of Bitcoin sloshing around, changing hands, and creating these weird disparities in price. So my guess, and it's not just my guess, many of us assume that this is a first step along a path towards allowing a spot ETF, right? A physically settled ETF, the same way a farmer would have to deliver his cattle, or a gold miner would have to deliver gold that they had pre-sold. If you sell a futures contract, sell it. You're saying I'm going to offer up my commodity to you at this time. When that time comes, like oil market too, you have to offer up that commodity at that time. You've pre-sold it. You took the cash. You owe the asset. Same thing in a physically settled Bitcoin market. In a cash settled market, which is what this is, there is no demand or requirement to offer up the physical asset or the good. Therefore, funds don't have to hold Bitcoin. So this is the creation of quasi assets that we've been talking about. So why would you buy BTC? Well, honestly, you wouldn't. There's no reason to buy it, which is kind of my worry. There is zero reason to buy this. You would buy it if you were a trader looking to trade into a short position or to hedge another position you had, a physical position. But would an investor, like a long-term, would grandma in her 401k buy BTC shares? No way. Absolutely not. This is not, listen, anybody that can hear my voice, do not buy this. This is a whole bucket of dog crap. Don't buy this thing. You don't need it. It's not going to make your life better. You're going to see the price degrade. You're going to get into this weird headspace where you go, wait a minute, but the price was higher and the futures and the this and the that. ETFs that are futures based degrade every day until the gap, that contango that you saw, is gone. So yeah. Okay. Let me do one thing because it's yelling at me to plug in. Okay. It's plugged in, bro. Calm down, bro. All right. Eli, good to see you. BTC become the true digital gold with rigged prices just like gold. Well, maybe, but it's a lot harder to rig this game. Let me just say that. But you might be right. There's always going to be somebody trying to game every system, every financial system, anything that's incentivized, someone's going to try to game it. We are all trying to game the legacy financial system, aren't we? By being in the crypto space, every one of us here, we're trying to front run technology, front run an obvious move towards better, more viable technology software, and ease the frictions of the old fat rich white guy club. Right? We're all doing that. So we're gaming the old system in the crypto space. There will be individuals that find little niches that they can game, right? I found some little things like that in the options markets, some spaces where I see people make similar mistakes over and over and over, and I grind out some yield right there. No, I will not tell you what they are. Yes, it happens on a weekly basis. That's from my clients and me. But for you guys, we get macro knowledge. All right. So everybody's going to game every system. And yes, things will look manufactured, but you know what? Every price is manufactured, right? Every time you have a buyer and a seller, that last sale, the price gets propagated out over the whole network. It doesn't matter that there might be only one Bitcoin left. Whatever the sell price is, that's going to be multiplied times the circulating supply of 18.848 million tokens, and then cool. And Eli, what I would do is, I think it's more complex than that. I don't think price suppression it is what it is. You don't care about the price. We're so early that none of this stuff matters. We can complain about that 5 years from now. But right now, this second, all we need to focus on are quality assets. Where is the world going to be as these digital products absorb currency units from the legacy financial system? You know what I'm saying? So while you're right, all of that stuff sucks. There's all sorts of bad behavior and it sucks. It doesn't matter. And it shouldn't factor into your trading. And that gets into the crux of the question. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? So we will get to that. Okay. So anyway, the Bitcoin is 62.5. Most of you are doing okay. There's only been a few days where Bitcoin was ever higher, meaning pretty much if you ever told someone ever to buy Bitcoin, if you ever told someone to buy Bitcoin, it was a winning trade and you were right. Ever. How many things can you say that about? Not too many. There's not too many assets you can say that about on a continual marching forward basis. So that's cool. Ethereum, 3788. It's up a bit. So almost neck and neck, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So back out 1%. So the Cardano is flat to down. It's been very quiet the last month, right? We had the big run up. We had the excitement over the Cardano summit. Price got up to $3, and on some exchanges, $3.20. And then the enthusiasm came out because people want news every second of every day. News. If I don't hear news, no. What we want is use, utility, and adoption. And we want a slow, continuous climb up the mountain of utility. And we don't want a meltdown, right? We don't want that. We can't just move fast and break stuff. If anybody's used Ethereum lately, it is so expensive to do anything. I basically reduced all of my, if I have to do Ethereum transactions for NFTs, I just don't do it anymore, period. Like I'm out. I'm not doing any generative. I'm not investing in any new projects. I'm on the sidelines. I'm done. Because sometimes the transactions cost more than the NFT. No, not doing it. I did evolve my bulls. I evolved my bulls. Do you want to see my evolved bulls? I think I showed yesterday on the show, but I'll show you guys. These are the evolved ones. They're really cool. And my favorite, I think I've showed this, is the evolved bull with my COVID mask. Say what? So yeah, that's my evolved bull. Now, what did they do? Well, it's kind of cool. They took, you have the old bull, you evolved it, which cost an S load of Ethereum. It cost me for almost $1,000 to evolve these things. It's terrible. But anyway, I evolved my 6 bulls. They locked up the old ones. And then we're going to be able to stake these coming in a few days to a few weeks. And they're going to pay us. It's kind of a mix. It's like a governance token, but right now it's kind of a utility token, whatever, which will incentivize all sorts of behavior in and around this network. Every bull gets you 1,000 of their tokens a month. I got 6 bulls. I get 6,000 tokens. So who knows? And then they're going to airdrop other stuff. It's dope. And then at the end of a year, your other bull opens up and now you have 2 bulls, 1 price, 2 bulls, 1 cup. Oh wait, that's something different. Anyway, it's number 738. It's pretty cool. And I only spent 0.2 Ethereum on each one. What's crazy is it cost me like almost more than that just to do the evolution of them. But anyway, those are my evolved bulls. That's the evolved bull story and the incredible expense that I went through. Okay, what's going on? Well, pretty much everything's quiet. Like even though every stuff is down, it's very quiet. Look, 1.16, 1.15. Cardano's down 0.69%. There's nothing. DOT is down 1.94, but it got up to, it was over the weekend, it was like 4.3. You know, what's interesting is that Polkadot's about to release 5, they're about to do 5 parachain auctions. There's going to be a lot of people talking about Polkadot. If you want a near-term, I'm not telling anyone to do this. I'm telling you there is a play here, And a play for you degens would be to look at the dot trade between now and say mid-December when there's peak enthusiasm. My guess is we get well over 50, 60 bucks because, finally these parachain auctions are coming. Now, that's going to require some interesting things. People are going to be locking up their Polkadot in some of these projects in order to get those other tokens, but they're locked up. I think they're locked up for 2 years. Okay. What do you think about that? I think the tokens are locked up for 2 years. And what is cool from Kraken, you'll be able to delegate, a portion here, a portion there. It might make sense to take half of your Polkadot and take that half and break it into 20% chunks. So 10%, 10, 10, 10, 10, and put it into every single one of these early projects directly through Kraken. Okay. That's probably the easiest on-ramp. I say that because 1 or 2 of those 5, their token is going to be worth an F truck. And the F rhymes with truck. 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 Like duck truck, but not duck. And so I think that's a safe way to get exposure. Don't try to guess. Buy them all because you get your tokens back anyway. But what's going to happen to the Polkadot token? Well, interesting you say, because you won't get staking rewards. So it's going to cost you 12% because that's the staking you get right now. 12% is dope in an appreciating asset. I started buying Polkadot at $3. My last Polkadot purchase was $6. I've been staking ever since. But 12% compounded every 3, it goes 3 and 4 days. So basically every 3.5 days you get a payment, which is great. So I'm going to take half of my Polkadot. Again, you do you. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do half of my Polkadot and I'm going to be pushing it into these different projects. Every single one of them. I'm not going to try to guess. I just want exposure to all of them. So you do you. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay. Algorand is quiet. Hasn't been doing a whole lot. We'll see. I mean, Algo, unfortunately, has it's got a great team. It's got a really nice community. I mean, really smart people. I don't know if it ever moves the needle. I don't know if people really buy in. I don't know if institutions buy into Algo. It's almost too much. There's too many options at a certain point. Anyway, we'll see. Matic is doing okay. It had a good week. It's down on the day, but it had a good week. So look at the good week performers. Obviously, Bitcoin up 11, but look, DOT almost 20%, Matic 22%. So we had some big performances there. Cosmos is having a good day. The week was weak. The month was weak, but it's a good day. It's up 5x on the year, so that's not terrible. VeChain, no one cares. It's China. I don't think they ever really move the needle. My guess is, other than some occasional pops, I haven't seen anything to suggest that it will buck the trend and be the one Chinese product to rule them all. I think they're pivoting to NFTs now, which whenever you see that in a project, you realize that they are just headline chasing, looking for some clicks, looking for some, we're doing NFTs. Great. Who cares? No one thinks about, I want to go launch NFTs on VeChain. Come on, man. You guys are supply chain provenance. Get your S together. All right. Filecoin, distributed data. Cool. Theta, distributed bandwidth. Cool. What's going on? Near. I love me some Near. $8 is dope. It was like $3 a year ago. Less. I don't know. And every quarter, Coinbase will be buying Near. Understand that there's a bid underneath the Near market right now. So, I wouldn't ignore it. Where can it go? Well, that's a different question. We're up in the billions, and any of these projects that are in the billions, they have to do something really special in order to kind of keep moving up, at least as it is right now. Who knows? Maybe today's billions are 3 years from now trillions, right? We don't know. I mean, a lot of these protocol layers are going to absorb a lot of currency units. But if I had my druthers, I'd rather have Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, and if I had to pick 4, if I could only pick 4 protocols, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Near. If I could pick 5, Cosmos. 6, I would add Algo. Because I don't care about the price. I care about the potential, the the potential gains, that volatility that we can absorb, and it can work its way into currency units. Okay, what else is going on? Graph token, I don't care. You know, I'm pretty close to being done with Graph. I'm no longer in the position. You guys know I exited a long time ago. I don't know if the team there ever does anything that's exciting for investors. I know that the project is cool. The project is important. But you know, I listened to someone from their team talk, and I wasn't very excited about it. At least I wasn't excited about their team. Their public outreach is non-existent. So I don't know, man. It's a quality project. I just don't know if it's a quality investment. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, 1 inch. 1 inch I do like. Now, I'm not in the position, but I like 1 inch. I like what they do. I use 1 inch a lot. The problem is there are so many companies that are coming out with protocol layer solutions that have, you know, swapping mechanisms, but the interface, you know, 1 inch is very easy to use. And so there's a lot of value there. But again, UI and functionality and stuff, everybody's going to do that, right? Like every one of these protocol layers will have some layer 1.5 or layer 2 or swapping interface. Everything will be swaps, right? Which is the reason why XRP is going to have a lot of trouble, at least under its current design, because you don't need XRP to do any of these transactions. When you use 1 inch, when's the last time you used 1 inch and the swap currency was XRP? Matter of fact, when's the last time you ever used XRP? Well, if you have a hard time coming up with an answer, you shouldn't feel alone. The companies that Ripple does business with don't use XRP. None of them, including SBI, if you really want to dig. So my name's Bennett and I ain't in it, although I do own some XRP because I think there'll be a bump, a positive bump. I think it's counterintuitive. I think it's stupid, but I think there'll be a bump when the SEC thing gets cleared up. Who knows when that is? I don't know. In the next month or two, I imagine we'll hear something. I think they had to file all sorts of thises and that's by the 5th of November. There's some ruling we would expect that week on a motion to suppress. I think if they lose that motion to suppress, I think it looks very bad for Ripple. And they probably have to cut that check. And with that, Brad and Chris have to go away. The fact that Ripple still has them employed shows you how little they think about the community. And let's reduce this to the simple. Brad and Chris stole from the investors. They took tokens that they printed out of thin air. They created a market for those tokens. They sold at a discount secretly to institutional investors, buddies of theirs, with no lockups. So they basically looked at you and said, hey, please buy XRP and support the movement. We're going to the moon. And then they sold at 30% discount to their friends with no lockups. Their friends immediately went and dumped that crap on the market, which of course depressed the price. And then within 24 hours of these moves, in one particular case, they were on CNN. Bread Garlic Mouse saying, I've never been more bullish. If that doesn't make you effing enraged, then you are simple. If you owned XRP in the last 3 years, they sold against you. The same Brad and Chris that you're endorsing. The only one in that whole entire cesspool of scumbags that looks like he didn't pull a shenanigan is David Schwartz. He's the only decent thing at that douchebag farm. And if you don't see that, you're simple. It's okay. Simple people are great. I love simple. But this is not the space for you because this is not emotional. So what you should do is look at that behavior and say, are these the people I'm willing to invest in, to enrich? If I give them my currency units for their stupid token and they sell against me, do I want to continue to do that? If you're a banker or a banking institution or a foreign government, do you think they don't know what happened? Do you think they do zero research? Do you think that they talk to the people at Ripple and they don't know what's going on with the SEC? They haven't read into this. They do their due diligence, folks. They know more than we know. This is why no one is dealing with Ripple. This is why no one's moving the token. Zero utility until otherwise. Now, I'm also open to the idea that they could make some house cleaning. Chris, Brad, gone. Then they say, you know what? Let's do this. Let's start over. Let's go do FX settlement, or let's go do some kind of escrow settlement in foreign trade. So, I have a friend, Alamin, on, I talk to him and Gino on Clubhouse all the time. Really cool, both of them. And, he said, look, for trade settlement, this, Ripple could be just doing a pivot. If that's the case, I'm all for it, bro, because if it makes sense, I'll invest in it. But I don't trust Chris and Brad. They are some of the scummiest humans on earth. And if the company at Ripple, if all the people at Ripple are cool with that, I'm not cool with that. So I'm not going to put my currency units in there, because then you got 26 dudes on John Deere tractors waiting for, XRP to hit 589 because a bear in a clown suit and a Riddler cartoon that was looking at a clock on a wall with some bricks meant that May 11th, all this dumb stuff. It is a cult. It's a cult. So with a cult, you got to be careful, because that goes back to, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Would you go against Tesla? Is it a good company? No. Do they make money? Not really. Mostly government subsidies. Matter of fact, almost all government subsidies and Bitcoin, right? Do they have a leader that understands business? Nope. Do they produce a quality product? No, they don't. Are they good for the environment? No. No, they buy and hijack carbon credits to offset all the damage they're doing by strip mining lithium. Look into that, by the way, if you're pro Tesla. Are they only showing down? No, but they're led by a cult leader. Elon Musk, while he's not a businessman, he is a visionary. He's incredibly intelligent. Yeah, he doesn't have the business acumen. Yeah, he basically bankrupts everything he touches. But part of the reason he bankrupts what he touches is because he pushes everything to the edge. So I'm not a hater of Elon Musk. We need Elon Musks. But you know what every Elon Musk needs? A Peter Thiel. They need a businessman or 40 in the room. And so what happens is he pushes it to the edge. They become insolvent, and then businessmen come in and they make things right. Michael Burry's going against Tesla. Oh, I'll show you. Kathy Woods is on the other side. Why? Because Kathy Woods is smart. She gets it. You don't fight a cult, bro. You don't go against religion. Look at, not to single out any religion, but there's some weird ones, and look how long they've lasted. Indoctrination. I don't like Tesla. I ain't touching it, but I'm not going to get on the other side of it and get my face melted. So there's a lot of these things where I'm not going to take the other side of the trade. One, I don't like the whole idea of shorting companies profiting from misery and pain. While it is it's a necessary part of markets, it creates liquidity and stuff. I just don't want to be a part of it from a kind of a philosophical point of view. That's just me. By the way, Solid Gate, good to see you. And yes, I'm going to talk SDAO in just a second once we get down to it, because that is important. The staking is stupid good. like stupid. Okay. So let's keep going with that. So anyway, don't get ahead of a cult. Just if you don't like something, stay on the sidelines. No worries. Darting uphill, good to see you. Moonbeam. All right, Shiv, good to see you too. Okay. Ooh, this is a good question. So this is germane to what we're about to talk about. AGIX or SDAO, which one is better? The answer is now both, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's get down to it. Let me see if there's anything other. What else was notable? Nothing really. Nexo is starting to melt up. That's cool. But it's so hard to get the Nexo token. You can't even get the Nexo token on Nexo. I'm like, damn it. Okay, we're at Fetch. First, Fetch news. Listen, for those of you that own Fetch, today is really the last day. You need to have your Fetch staked on Cosmos Station so that when the Mobix airdrop comes and starts showering your account with little bitty Mobix tokens, which you won't be able to spend them until I think first week in December December 5th, I believe. Anyway, the point is, and will the Mobix token be worth anything? Probably not. The project looks pretty effing stupid if we're being honest. So I don't want anyone to do anything fat thumbed or stupid. Don't rush around to get your token somewhere and do something silly. I don't think that I want to let's have a soft landing on our enthusiasm as it applies to Mobix. Mobix looks pretty effing stupid, right? It doesn't look like a monetizable thing. It doesn't look very interesting to me. Oh, we'll pay you because carbon credit, because you're riding a scooter or you're walking or you're jogging instead of using. Get the F out of here, bro. I'm not trying to hear that stuff, right? I mean, fair point. I have a not normal amount of supercars, but still, like, so don't do anything stupid to try to get the fetch. What you should do is, the reason I say stake is to get the freaking 21% staking rewards. That's why you stake, because fetch, while Mobix looks dumb, airdrop might be something, might not, but fetch is valuable. So there, don't stress about it. If you haven't done it, if it's not done yet, I would work your way to Cosmos Station with your fetch tokens. Take your time. There is a great, and I'll give you the website, how to stake on Fetch mainnet using Cosmos Station wallets. It's a really good thing. I'm going to give you, and I don't know if you can select from the, I'm going to put it as a comment, and hopefully you can copy and paste that, and I'll do the same thing. The thing is, though, when I do it over here on Theta, I have to take off the www part. So you just put in the rest of it, and that should work. Okay, so there you go. You guys got it. Please take a look at this. Don't leverage other people for this stuff. You really need to go through the process. You need to learn this. You're going to be doing this a lot. So the sooner that you guys go through the process, get through the uncomfortable, the disquietude of messing with these projects. It is what it is. You're going to be using multiple wallets a lot. It's your future. Third bit, what up, man? Or ma'am? I can't assume pronouns anymore. That'd be unwoke of me. And I'm woke. I'm woke as hell. I have fat, gender ambiguous friends. No, I don't. But I could. You don't know I don't. Audience not really performing, very excited. Let's continue that question. Let's look at SDAO. Okay, what's going on with SDAO? Well, there was a video that Marcelo did from Dubai, which coincidentally is funny because I was supposed to be in Dubai this weekend. I am not. Here I am. But my partner Alex is there. Well, they're having this long running kind of convention, these series of conventions and things like that in the crypto space. They're very pro crypto. So SingularityDAO, he did a video where he explained a couple of interesting things. One that I thought was particularly interesting. Well, let me reduce this. First, let's talk about the staking. Let me see. Okay. So let me show you the percentages that they're paying on staking in these pools. They have now created a 3-month bonded pool. What that means, your tokens are locked for 3 months. There's a 3-month pool and a 6-month pool. And this is if you have SingularityDAO and you're staking it. And I'm not kidding. This is their numbers, not mine. The 3-month bonded pool, this is a 5 million cap, is paying 35% yearly return. At the end of 3 months, your tokens just roll into the next 3-month contract. 90 days, 35%, 35. The 6-month pool is paying 50% APY, right? Return on asset. And let's see how much space is left in those contracts. I'm looking now. You can't see it, but it's on my other screen. It is, okay, the 3-month pool, there's only 3.5 million staked, so there's plenty of space. Ooh, the 6-month pool is pretty much on lockdown. So I would leave that alone. It closes in 2 days, but it's like 4.9 million. 4,986,919. So there's like 13,000 tokens left before that's. So I would say stay away from the 6-month. But let me tell you this. The 3-month is 35%. You think, oh man, I don't have time. Don't rush, bro. Because the non-staked, the open pool that you can just go in and out of, what's called the unbonded pool, it pays 27%. 27. The unbonded, I mean, dear God, man. That's so if you're thinking, what's the best place to stake? Just to stake? Well, the best game running is SingularityDAO. There's nothing close to this. Nothing even close to this. Now, that being said, it's funny money until Dynasets. It's funny money until another iterative step called Launchpad. You say, well, what's Launchpad? Launchpad? That sounds stupid. Okay, let me just pull SingularityDAO up here. Here's what Launchpad is. You know when we talk about all these new companies that are going to be dropping on from SingularityNet, all these verticals? Well, all these verticals, let's see, would it be a better return if you went with the 3-month instead of the 6-month? No, it wouldn't, Jasnock, because the 3-month it's annualized. It's APY. It's not for that 3 months. So it would be divide by 4 over the year. So if you just had your coins in for 3 months, if you had 100 coins and it was at 35%, over the course of a year, you would get 35, but you're only going to get a quarter of that, or 8.225% of your total stash for that 3 months. The 6-month is 50%, but it's 6 months. So you have to run 2 of those to see that 50%. Otherwise, you would see, the portion, the 6 months of the year, so half, so 25% minus 4 or 5 days where the pool is open. Now, once you're in these staking pools, they roll to the next. You just roll naturally, and so you'll just coins. Now, you're getting showered with coins that have right now no utility. Let's be fair. They're not using Dynasets yet. That's coming by December, they claim, which let's assume March. But when new projects run through SingularityNet, the launch pad is going to be SingularityDAO. Let me say this again, because this is missed by a lot of people. SingularityDAO is going to be the access point to buy into these token offerings for these new. So you will, if you own AGIX, you'll be showered with tokens of the new projects as an airdrop, which is great. By the way, everyone should have your AGIX on your MetaMask and staked, or on a private wallet like a Ledger and staked, whatever way you want to do it. Okay. And so I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to VeChain. That's cool. It doesn't matter. If you do, you invest in it. Go all in, bro. I'm just telling you how I feel. I made a lot of money off VeChain. I'm not a hater. I made a 25x on VeChain. Not a hater. I'm a stater. And I'm stating that I don't think there's value proposition there anymore. Who wants exposure to China right now? Okay, so SingularityDAO is going to have a product called Launchpad. It's going to launch very soon. It looks like NewNet is the next project launching. By the way, William, good to see you. I said away from the 6-month. No, I got into the 6-month. I like the 6-month. I have some in the 6-month. I have some in the 3-month. I'm kind of splitting. I'm right in the middle. Do you have to pay gas for airdrops? You may have to pay gas in order to sign the contract. And again, right now, things are running through Ethereum, through MetaMask. So the way it is right now, remember that SingularityDAO and all of the AGIX SingularityNet projects will be running on top of Cardano. All of them, every one of them. But they'll also be multi-chain. SingularityDAO, they're gonna do liquidity pools with Matic. They're doing liquidity pools with Binance Dumb Chain. They're gonna be doing liquidity pools with Avalanche. Well, they're in negotiations with Avalanche. But so there's gonna be liquidity pools is different, right? They want to create liquidity for the token. Obviously, that makes sense. But they will be running the protocol that these assets will be running on top of will be Cardano, which is much cheaper. But yes, right now, signing transactions and things like that will be probably through. Now, you don't have to pay Ethereum to receive the token. You will have to link your account, and you may have to pay some fee, that process of signing the transaction, right? Which usually is pretty cheap. That's minimally invasive cost. It's like, it's kind of negligible. All right. I keep AGIX on KuCoin. Don't do that because you won't get airdrops. If I were you, I would move your AGIX from KuCoin to MetaMask And if you get a chance, you could stake. Now, the staking for AGIX is garbage, but the airdrops are delicious. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, just to round it out, when they launch new projects like NewNet, like Rejuve, like True AGI, like SingularityDAO, like Sophia, like all these different projects they're launching on SingularityNet, Launchpad, a product that SingularityDAO is managing, is where you will go to buy the tokens. So if you want to participate in the token sale, also, they get an allocation of NewNet tokens. I know this coming straight from Marcelo's mouth. SingularityDAO is getting an allocation that was going to their employees. They're taking half of that allocation and giving it to the community. This is literally them cutting a check right out of their back pocket and giving it to the community that supported their token. That's pretty badass. So yes, Neil, you're right. I'm saying everyone should go full twist into Ripple. Ripple equity, by the way. Not even the token. Don't go to the token. Go Ripple equity. Do you receive airdrops on Ledger hardware? I don't know. You can, as long as you have, because basically you're holding assets on Ledger. It's just a place to park those assets. It's a wallet. It's a private wallet like any other. And you can point that in the direction of these other platforms. Sometimes they will need the token. Sometimes they will need to connect to the token. I believe you can have assets on Ledger and go and stake from Ledger. Many of them you can. I just don't know the ins and outs of that because that's not the way I do it. But it's certainly incredibly safe. It just may add an element of frustration to your day. Okay. And then Nara asks, will we need SingularityDAO for the sale or can we use AGX? Well, we don't know. My guess is you'll be able to use SingularityDAO. You'll be able to use AGIX, USDT, probably Ethereum for now, and probably soon Cardano, ADA. And what a cool way to spend your rewards. So what I've been doing is I've been using my every 5 days rewards, my staking rewards from Cardano to buy AGIX. To me, that makes the most sense. And I've been doing it for a couple weeks, not a long time, but I'm using it to just build my stash. I was less apt to do it when it was at 66 cents, like a month ago. I am more excited about it now where it's at 31 cents. So I think AGIX, there's a lot of things that keep pointing me in the direction of AGIX, but this is one that points me towards SingularityDAO. And it makes sense because in their network, they don't want people going, should I own SingularityDAO or should I just put it all into AGIX? No, you'll get access either way, which that's pretty cool. So owning SingularityDAO and staking it is going to get you access to airdrops. It's going to get you access to incredible staking rewards, which is dope, but the company still has to perform. Dynasets still have to come. And that's what we're ultimately waiting for. Dynasets is what's going to make you or not make you more currency units with SingularityDAO. It's not their launchpad's cool and we can use it and we can get these new tokens. That's dope. It's nice to know where it's going to be and that they'll participate and it probably, you'll be able to pledge some funds from your staking and all this kind of stuff. That's awesome. But they still need to release Dynasets. That's the product. So, and by the way, Launchpad's not a completely new build from the ground up. So, they're not having to start at zero and start ones and zero coding. They're taking already kind of battle tested software and they're rejiggering it for the Launchpad interface. So it'll be nice. Way better than Mantra. For those of us that used it, I think Emmanuel, Jerry, a few of us used Mantra DAO or whatever for the token sale. And that was a kick in the softies. Of course, we exploited it. That's neither here nor there. Game theory, right? Hey, it is what it is. Okay. Cool, bro. So I think that basically gets through that. So that's what I want to talk about there. Now let's spend about 5 minutes. Let me go back. Let's go to the Bitcoin. AGIX is so cheap. I'm just going to keep loading up. That's just me, bro. Let's go to this Bitcoin Retcher. Okay. A couple of highlights. Of course, the price 62,533. We don't care about the price. We care about the potential performance. Alan, good to see you, by the way. And your question is, do we need to move FET to MetaMask before staking? Yes. Fetch has to go MetaMask first. depending on how you got it. If it's like Coinbase, it would go Coinbase, MetaMask through the token bridge to Cosmos Station, stake at Cosmos Station. Whew. But go through their Medium articles and stuff. Don't listen to the white-haired tard on the computer. Go and do your own research. You don't want someone to lead you astray and you send your currency units into the netherworld and then be like, Nick screwed me. I didn't screw no one. Do your own research. Do your own work. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for all of us. Me included. It's just a frustrating space. That's why there's so much opportunity. If this crap was easy, grandma would be doing it and the opportunity would not be here. Grandma is not doing it and there is opportunity. Bam. Belinda Cook, good to see you, by the way. Arturas, good to see you. I'm looking at buying a McLaren Artura. All right. Okay. So sit back and just breathe for a second and let's get past the metrics and let's just look at this big fat chart right here. And I just want everyone to relax. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Okay. I was, and I'm reading, this is a really well done piece that I read last night. I'm going to read it to you guys because it's important. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? We say this a lot. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Tony, good to see you. Can U.S. customers participate in parachain auctions on Kraken? I believe they can, Jared. I just don't know for sure that's a Kraken question, but I believe you can. Okay. I was asked this rhetorical question by one of the old school blue collar type traders. You didn't always need an advanced math degree to get a job in trading back in the day. Not long after joining my first trading desk. This is not me. I never worked on a trading desk. I was on a gold desk. It was a lot different. Although we traded, but different. I was with a refinery. Okay. And unlike most Wall Street sayings, it is a useful one. And equally applicable in the crypto space, which is why it's been repopularized by a bunch of people lately. Because being wrong and making money is exactly as good as being right and making money. And far better than being right and losing money, which is easily done. What does George Soros say? It's not whether you're right or whether you're wrong. It's how much you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong. Okay? Get rid of the emotion, reduce this to the simple, and it will pay dividends. Nico, good to see you. Can you buy AGIX through Coinbase Wallet? No. As far as I know, you cannot. You can swap into it through MetaMask or you can buy it on KuCoin. Those are the safest ways as far as that I know. Okay. So take, for example, the GME saga, GameStop, right? The Reddit crowd bought it for a short squeeze, which never happened, by the way. It's not a short squeeze. Make sure you guys get this right when you hear the gossip, when people are telling you what happened with GameStop. It wasn't a short squeeze, okay? It skyrocketed on a gamma squeeze, which is entirely different. That has to do with options sellers having to buy the underlying asset for option contracts they already sold. It is not a short squeeze. It's just a normal mechanical function of being an options broker. But it doesn't matter. Like everyone else, no one on Reddit was talking about gamma squeezes. They didn't know none of them, not even the dude that started this, that worked at a firm, by the way, who is avoiding prosecution as we speak. But they had never heard of a gamma squeeze, but that didn't stop them from creating one and making a ton of money off of it, right? Even better, they made that money at the expense of seasoned veterans who do know what a gamma squeeze is and did know or should have known it was coming. Do you want to be rich? Or do you be right? Right? So I was reminded of this painful episode watching the run up in Bitcoin last week. If you are long Bitcoin for the ETF approval, I think you may have the wrong idea, but you're definitely making money, right? You're in the trade for the wrong reason. Now, if you're a value investor, a long-term investor, this doesn't really apply to you. But if you were buying Bitcoin for the ETF approval, you're wrong, but you still made money. Buying high and selling low. You may have heard now that futures-based ETFs are not good for you, and you may have even learned what contango is and the role and all this kind of stuff. But people seem really excited for this ETF launch. So let's make it a little bit more concrete. January CME futures are trading at $1,800 above spot today, right? So price today, 62, so it's 63, almost 64K, all right? That's the futures contract. That's a month out, okay? That will lock you into taking an $1,800 between now and then, okay? With BTC trading at 62,000, the futures-based ETF would pay 63,800 for its Bitcoin exposure, so 64.3 right now. and then watch that $1,800 premium dwindle day by day by day to zero. The premium deteriorates to zero over the next 3 months because the futures contract is 3 months forward looking. I think, yeah, because it's the January contract. At that point, that futures contract expires. The ETF has to buy another 3 month future, right? Meaning at the same premium. You don't get the premium. So when you're looking at these cash settled ETFs, these futures ETFs, the premium, you don't get that. All you get is the movement of the underlying asset minus time decay, minus the fees. ETFs suck for holding, especially futures pegged ETFs. This is why if you're holding because you thought, yeah, ETF, it sounds way better than it is, but the product that ProShares is putting out is not good. You will not want to own it. Okay. So buying the ETF today, right, is like buying something at $1,800 and then in 3 months time, selling it at zero and then buying it at $1,800 again. You would never do that, right? Why would you pay someone a management fee to help you deteriorate your currency, right? That doesn't make any sense either. I guarantee you a negative $1,800 return. You're like, oh, you're not fired because you're not hired. But if you had been hired, I would have fired. Okay, so ProShares, the listing agent of the ETF, that's the Bitcoin ETF that started today, just now, it doesn't actually expect you as an investor to buy the token. I mean, to buy their synthetic equity. Okay. They've priced it at 95 basis points, which according to ETF.com makes it the most expensive futures-based ETF, period. You don't want this. But they've done it because their target audience is traders who are price insensitive. If you're holding for 2 days or 3 days or whatever, you don't care what the annualized fee is, okay? But traders don't add to the net demand for the underlying asset, which is why the run-up in Bitcoin ahead of this listing is a little bit overly optimistic. The bull case scenario is ETF opens the floodgates for new investment money managed by investment advisors who can now, for the first time, collect management fees on allocations to Bitcoin, which sounds cool, right? And you think, oh, I guess, yeah, people would come in. No, because as much as we all want Bitcoin to go higher, futures-based ETFs don't belong in buy and hold portfolios because of that time decay. ETFs that are futures-based, look, if you get nothing else out of today, other than the SDAO stuff. Futures-based ETFs decay your currency. Time decay. They are not a hold product. You don't hold futures-based ETFs. Friends, don't let friends hold futures-based ETFs. Okay? If you're still unsure why, you can look at USO, the oil play. There's all sorts of ways you can kind of audit and edit that. Barno, good to see you, buddy. So buy and holders who thought they were getting long via USO, they've been outperformed by WTI, West Texas Intermediate, by 115% over the last 18 months. Yeesh. And that's in the boring old oil market, right? So here's the real bull case. And this is what I wanted to get into because this is the game theory of it. Futures-based ETFs may generate enough trading volume on the CME that the SEC would be willing, Gensler and crew, to approve a physically settled Bitcoin ETF. This is what we want. We want the play behind the play. We want the second ball. We don't want the break. We want the second ball to get hit. This is the key, right? So if nothing else, the ETF, this new ETF has everybody talking about it, referring to Bitcoin as a physical asset. You notice now we have to qualify futures-based asset versus spot. Bitcoin is physical, even though it's right. It's become a physical asset. That's important. That there's value in just that marketing, right? In the labeling. Matt Hoogan of Bitwise Investments has explained that the SEC is primarily concerned that there is a regulated market of significant size for any underlying asset that makes up an ETF or an ETF that pegs off of an asset. They want there to be a big, fat, giant, very liquid difficult to manipulate market. And it kind of rolls back to manipulation. The bigger it is, the more liquid it is, the less likely some a-hole like the Winklevi or some mining concern can come and pervert the price of the token enough to pervert the market enough to break a bunch of retail Joe six-pack investors. Okay, so volume from futures-based ETFs should or may, we say may, get the CME over their hurdle, which means that a spot ETF could be soon to follow. Soon could be 3 months. They may hold it for a quarter. They may hold it for, I can't imagine they would wait longer than a quarter. I think a few months into it, they'll calm down. A spot Bitcoin ETF will attract buy and hold investors because that's a different animal. That will take Bitcoin out of circulation more or less permanently, right? Because it goes into those funds and it sits. That is what you want. You want a physically settled Bitcoin ETF or any of these assets that sucks supply out of the market and creates sideline Bitcoin. Now, that leaves a very thin amount of Bitcoin to be traded, right? And you will have some volatile price action, but you will have immense scarcity of an asset that apparently the world has agreed is pretty good. So that's a big deal, and that's incredibly could be fortuitous, right? I don't want to say bullish, bearish. I don't think those terms apply. I think those are silly terms. This isn't a real market yet, but we sure are getting towards the point where it looks a lot more like a regulated real market. So, but how much? Right? The gold ETF is often cited for precedent. Gold ETFs removed substantial barrier to entry for investors. Buying an ETF on your Vanguard account is a lot more convenient than buying Krugerrands from a coin shop and then putting them in a safe in your bedroom or in your closet. Yeah, right? Self-custody, headache. But buying a Bitcoin ETF on your Vanguard account will also be easy, especially in a tax-free IRA. But is it a lot easier than buying Bitcoin on Coinbase? No. Is it easier than buying Bitcoin through the Grayscale Trust? No, not really. It will, however, make allocating to Bitcoin a much easier process for all of the investment advisors who we hope will not be buying the futures-based contract, the futures-based ETF. So the goal is that this thing is kind of successful, but not too successful. Because if it's super successful, you have super idiots jumping into it. Or you have a lot of traders going in to skin the volatility. And we don't know how that might turn out, but it might not be. My hope personally is that this is not very well subscribed, that people go, okay. And it collects some currency units, but it's not wildly successful. So there we go. It is, however, making an allocation to Bitcoin much easier for all those investment advisors who hope they will not be buying futures-based ETFs tomorrow. Plus, anyone who is somehow still unaware of Coinbase or Kraken, I guess, if you're one of these dudes that you just look at your books and you watch CNBC and you just tune out the part, Warren Buffett, and go, maybe for some of those people that have been in a closet for the last 12 years that don't know about Coinbase, Kraken, and all these very easy ways to buy crypto, maybe for them, this makes sense. Again, I don't know. This is not the product we want, but doesn't matter. It's the product we got. I don't expect they'll be rushing in on day one, but over time, spot-based ETFs will allow significantly more investment money to find its way into Bitcoin. It's safer. You don't have the time degradation. It's more like owning GLD or SLV. And maybe that's what last week's rally is pricing in, right? Possibly. They're pricing in the price after the pricing in of the current ETF. They're pricing in the second ETF, but I think that's a bridge too far. Buyers may have gotten overexcited about today's event, but every marginal buyer gets us a little bit closer to Bitcoin's hard cap of 21 million, of which 6 million have been lost, right? So, I mean, this is good. It's good for the wrong reasons, but it's still eventually good. I don't think people are gaming it outright. But we will get the ETF we need at some point, and this is a necessary first step. It's an important first step, and there we go. So I hope that kind of brings some context to what we're seeing. My guess, if I had to just put $5 on it, I don't think that this new product is wildly successful because I think people are pretty smart. Even dummies are smart. Legacy financial guys, TradeFi. I think they look at it and go, cool, bro, but I'm going to probably stay away from this. Gino in the house. What up, man? If you guys are ever on Clubhouse, you got to listen to Gino's show, Decentralized News. It's super dope. Anyway, so just pay attention and don't get caught up in the excitement and news and the nonsense. If Bitcoin retraced to 58, 55K, who cares? Your dollar cost averaging into products that you like, into assets that you believe in, because you believe that over time, the value proposition is such that it absorbs more currency units. To me, Bitcoin is an asset that inversely tracks bad behavior, right? The worse the behavior is, well, I guess in that case, it's directly proportionate to bad behavior. The more bad behavior on the side of bankers, like, central bankers trading against us, literally trading on insider information, like, the head of the Dallas City Fed, the head of the Kansas City Fed. Oh, the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell, like never mind that. That's cool. It's cool, right? I mean, it's not technically illegal, or at least that's what their lawyers will argue. The more bad behavior you see in the space, the more guys like Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, Tron, Justin Sun, right? Sam Bankman Fried Chicken. The more bad behavior you see in the crypto space, that gets pushed. People leave the altcoin market and they say, I don't trust any of these douchebags, man. And the less trust you have in any system, not just the legacy system. I'm not just talking about central banks, central bankers, incompetent fiduciaries, thieves, Barry Madoff, all of these guys that steal from old people's pockets. I'm not talking about corrupt governments. I'm not talking about just freaking warlords with AK-47s. I'm even talking right here in the crypto space, these dudes that will steal from you. They will rug pull. They will flash. They will dump their bags on you. They will step on your grandmother's throat to make 16 cents. You think the Winklevi are your friends? You're effing crazy. Those dudes don't care about you. They don't care about crypto. It's just a play for them. They don't give a crap. And that's okay. That's their right. In a society that we live in, that's fine. I'm not even mad at it. And none of you should be either. I'm not mad at Brad Garlinghouse. I'm not mad at Chris Larson. I don't like that they lied and sold against me. But I'm not mad at what they did. They're gaming the system. You think you can beat the man and not go to jail? It's on you, bro. You end up in prison. That's on you too. But it's not our job to be emotional about any of this crap. This is not an emotional game. This is a game where we just want to be a little bit wiser, a little bit faster than the fat kid at the campfire when the bear comes. That's it. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? That's it. It's not more complex than that. It's simple. So stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk strung out on meth grandmother wouldn't do, which, is not much. And we will see you soon.
Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet? Hey, we talking talking condos and nice clothes and driving Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them high roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Profit to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it poppin'. We chillin' in the drop. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket by any means I rock. This is the Profit with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on the new stocks, this is where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the Profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the Profit.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't.